Alright, hey guys, in this pencast I'm going to show you how to use the determinant to calculate two things. We're going to calculate the inverse. So this pencast will be to use determinants to calculate the inverse of a 2x2 matrix. And so that'll be the first thing we'll calculate. And the second thing will be the area of a triangle on a grid. If you don't remember how to calculate the determinants, you need to look at the previous pencast. This pencast is the third pencast. So you need to look at pencast number 2 to remember how to calculate the determinants for a 2x2 and for a 3x3. This is basically just going to show you the shortcut for calculating an inverse. So, inverse of a 2x2. And what you need to be doing is you need to be taking notes carefully and listening to the pencast, and anything that you don't understand, you need to make sure that you go back and review it, watch it again. The inverse is going to be inverse of a 2x2. Notation, the symbol. Okay. A to the minus 1. If A is a matrix, A to the minus 1 is the inverse of A. So let's say we have matrix A that has these numbers: A, B, C, and D. Right? And we want to find the inverse. The inverse is going to be this formula. A to the minus 1 is going to be equal to 1 over the determinant of A times this matrix. And this matrix is actually going to be the original matrix, but you're going to move around the numbers. The A and the D are going to swap. So you'll place the D over here and the A over here. The C and the B are going to stay in the same place, but you're going to change the sign. And then your answer is going to be this new matrix that you have constructed times 1 over the determinant. And I'm going to show you in an example. Let's say, and yes, you have to memorize this formula. You're going to need it for your test, all right? And for all of your exams. And you're slow. Let's say that you have matrix A, and matrix A is composed of the following entries: 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I say, find the inverse of A. So what do? You write, you need two things in order to get the inverse of A. You need the determinant of A, and you need that matrix which has everything. You know, we talked about how we swap the A and the D, and the C and the B stay in the same place, but their sign changes. So you're going to need two things if you're going to find the determinant of A. So I would just do like a side calculation and then use it afterwards. How do we get a determinant of A? The determinant of A is going to be 1 times 4 minus 2 times 3. Alright, so that's a negative 2. Now remember, if you don't know how I just calculated the determinant of A, you need to look at the previous pencast. In it, I explain how to calculate a determinant. Now you also need to build that matrix that you're going to need. Remember, the A and the D are going to swap, so the 1 and the 4 are going to swap places. The 4 is going to come here and the 1 is going to come down here. And the 3 and the 2, they're going to stay in the same place, but you're going to change the sign. Okay. Alright, now we have the two pieces of information that we need in order to calculate A minus 1. A minus 1, or the inverse of A, is going to be 1 over negative 2 times this matrix, the one that we just built. Okay. And what you do is you multiply, this is scalar multiplication, and you multiply all of these numbers inside the matrix by 1 over negative 2. Or basically, you can use your calculator for this, but essentially what you're doing is dividing all of these numbers by 2, by negative 2. So 4 divided by negative 2, or 4 times negative 1/2 is negative 2. Negative 2 times negative 1/2, and use your calculator for this. If you can't do it in your head, it's going to be a 1. This one is going to be 3/2, and this one is going to be minus 1/2. And there you have it. That's the inverse of A. So just to recap, if you have matrix A and you want to get the inverse, you're going to need to calculate the determinant of A, and you're going to have to build this matrix where the A and the D swap, the C and the B change signs. I found the determinant of A to be negative 2, and I built this matrix that I need according to the definition. I said A minus 1 is minus 1/2 times that matrix, and I found my answer to be this. So what do you report? You report this. That's the inverse of A. That matrix is the inverse of A. Now you practice. B is 3, 7, 5, 2. Bring to class in your notes the inverse of B. Okay? We're going to discuss it in class.